Hi, my name's Monica, and welcome to my backyard, the polar bear capital of the world. In the small northern town of Churchill, Manitoba, located on the shores of the Hudson Bay, a unique occurrence happens every year, the opportunity to see polar bears. That's right, polar bears. It's during the fall and summer months, mid-July to about mid-November, that polar bears are forced ashore due to melting ice and are forced to wait until the ice begins to freeze once again and becomes strong enough for the bears to resume their winter hunting. These strong, fast, agile animals will spend up to 6 months hunting on the ice in what is referred to as still hunting. A method used by polar bears allows for them to use their excellent sense of smell to locate the breathing hole of a seal, crouch down, and wait for the seal to appear. If you've guessed what a polar bear mostly feeds on, you're right. For the most carnivorous member of the bear family, its diet mostly consists of ring and bearded seals. During their 6 months of hunting, it is important for polar bears to obtain as much seal fat as possible, due to the fact that when the ice melts, usually in late June, the bears are forced ashore, where there is very little food available for them. During this time, polar bears will take part in what is referred to as a walking hibernation. It's during this time that the bears are living off the fat reserves and are trying to conserve as much energy as possible before heading back. An adult male can weigh between 770 to 1,500 pounds, compared to an adult female, which is about half the size. The polar bear, although closely related to the brown bear, has evolved to adapt to the colder temperatures of the subarctic. It has an elongated body build and a larger skull and nose to that of a brown bear. The feet of a polar bear are very large in order to distribute load when walking on snow or thin ice, and to provide extra maneuverability while swimming. A polar bear's claws are short compared to the long claws of a brown bear. Polar bears are built to live in the Arctic climate, where winter temperatures can plunge to -45 degrees Celsius. Polar bears are insulated by 2 layers of fur that help them keep warm. They also have a thick fat layer. In addition, their compact ears and small tail also prevent heat loss. In fact, polar bears have more problems with overheating than they do from the cold, especially when they run. Unlike grizzly bears, polar bears are not territorial. Most live solitary lives, yet have often been seen playing together for hours. About 10 years ago, in Churchill, a polar bear was photographed playing with a Canadian Eskimo dog, a tenth of its size. For no apparent reason, the two wrestled harmlessly for days. This kind of social interaction is uncommon, as it is more typical of bears to act aggressively towards dogs. However, this was not the case. In the 1980s, the town of Churchill developed a sizable tourism industry focusing on the migration paths of the polar bears. These magnificent animals can be viewed safely from specially modified buses known as tundra buggies. October and November are the best times to see polar bears, as thousands wait on the West Peninsula until water freezes on the Hudson Bay so that they can return to hunt for their primary food source, the seals. Within the town itself, Parks Canada and Manitoba Conservation monitor for the presence of polar bears. When polar bears are detected in an area of human use, they are often chased away or removed from these sites. A polar bear jail is where problem bears are held after being tranquilized and await for the bay to freeze over. The Polar Bear Alert Program is placed within the community to minimize the chance of human and bear encounters, as this can happen anywhere and at any time of the year. Polar bears are strong, fast, and agile and should be respected at all times. Therefore, it is important to know and obey the signs of the Polar Bear Alert Program. Wapusk National Park is known as one of the world's largest polar bear maternity denning areas. It is here that pregnant females remain on land during the winter months and give birth to their cubs and will fast for about 8 months. An amazing adaptation unique to the polar bear species is their ability to slow down their metabolism at any time of the year. Females will have cubs every 2 to 3 years in Wapusk, and at birth, their cubs are about the size of their mother's paws and weigh less than 1 kilogram. In most areas, cubs are weaned at 2.5 years of age, when the mother chases them away or abandons them. The western coast of Hudson Bay is is unusual in that its female polar bears sometimes wean their cubs at only 1.5 years of age. As the mother leaves, sibling cubs sometimes travel and share food together for weeks or even months. In recent years, the rising temperatures have caused the sea ice to melt earlier in the year, driving the bears to shore before they have built up sufficient fat reserves to survive. Scientists have said that this is a problem. However, just as polar bears had to adapt to the colder temperatures of the subarctic, such as here in Churchill, there is much discussion that the bears could adapt to similar lifestyles of that of brown and black bears, of course, when the time comes. Until then, we'll continue to enjoy the polar bears here in Churchill, Manitoba, and hope that more people come to enjoy them as well. Again, the polar bear capital of the world, the bears are here, and they're here to stay. Thank you.